Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys. My name is Russ. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of toys, action figures, or pop culture in general, please subscribe to my channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. Every week I open a recently acquired toy or action figure, and today I am opening McFarlane Toys Kingdom Come Armored Batman. I was very excited to find this figure at my local Target. And I think this is the one and only time I've ever seen this figure, so I'm glad I snatched him when I did. I'm a big fan of Alex Ross and Mark Waid's story, Kingdom Come. It's an incredible DC epic that I recommend to any fan of superheroes. And to have any action figure from that story is something that's been on my list for a while, and I'm super stoked to have this Batman. The design that Alex Ross created for this armor that Batman wears, it seems to be inspired by the Dick Sprang era of Batman comics, in which he was depicted as this barrel-chested hero with these lines that denoted his pecs and his stomach. We might look at this art as simplistic today, but at the time it was kind of formative for superhero adventure comics. So to have Alex Ross depict that in this kind of pseudo-realistic way, by way of armor, is super cool. And let's just tear into this figure now. Let's just open it, shall we? And my approach with these openings, these unboxings, is always, I'm a kid that just got this toy. I don't have a razor blade or scissors or an X-Acto knife or something at my disposal. So can I just get into the packaging? And there's a little adhesive here at the top. And it's taking a bit, but I'm going in. Does require some adult strength, but there we are. And there is this kind of backing upon which is a collector's card, which does feature the Alex Ross art, which I'm grateful for, because past McFarlane Toys in this DC multiverse line have depicted just the action figure itself here. So cool to have. It's cool to see the Alex Ross art from which this figure is inspired, and then a stand that I hopefully won't need. You know, I'm throwing away the packaging because, generally speaking, unique card art like you might find on Masters of the Universe Origins, for example, that I champion on my channel quite a bit, you'd find unique card art. This is just reproduced from the Kingdom Come story. I have this graphic novel. I even have Alex Ross's kind of DC mythology book. I think it's a coffee table-sized book that shows a lot of his DC Comics work, including the development and some of the final art from Kingdom Come. So what I'm saying is I don't need that. I don't need the card. Let's see if I need the stand. If not, this is all going in the trash. You know, it's unfortunate that this is wasted, but ultimately, if you're a collector, you have a lot of stuff. Maybe you don't have the space, and you just have to make some hard decisions. And I'm encouraging the toy makers like McFarlane Toys, think about that stuff. You know, this is a lot of heavy plastic here. And then you got these bands that I just absolutely loathe. Does a figure of this density require that kind of attachment to the bubble? I don't think so. The figures I had when I was a kid, man, you bust them out of the package and there were no problems here. So I'm just trying to figure this out now. There's like this plastic band around his waist here. I just released his arms, thankfully. And how easy will this be? His feet. Okay, so I guess I didn't realize this based on the display, but some assembly is required here. So this whole back piece, and I feel like something's sticking to me. Okay, so I have Batman freed. And then there's this back piece here, 2 wings. Okay. This one's bagged. The more I open these videos, the more I open these figures on video, I should say, I'm sorry, the more you open these videos, I hope, as you watch them on my channel, the more of an environmentalist I become, because is this necessary? Was that necessary for the protection of this piece? All of this plastic, thick bubbling here. Now, if you're in a state like California, you buy this figure, you got to pay 10 cents for your grocery bag to carry him out of a Target or a Walmart or something. Why don't we trim that plastic fat, so to speak, in the packaging of these figures, so I can carry them to my car with some other groceries or whatever else I might have bought at the store with ease. And then again, around the waist, what is that? There's just a piece of plastic here. I don't have scissors handy. Let's say I'm just some kid that wants to play with this cool looking Batman. And I don't know how to get this thing off. It feels like tape. There it goes. What is this and why? And did it leave any weird adhesion marks on my figure? All right, I don't want to whine too much more on camera, but there it is. Okay, he's finally freed. And let's find out where his points of articulation are. We have some arm activity. I would imagine there's something happening here at the elbow. It's a little stiff, but yes. There's some wrist mobility here too. Solid figure. Beautiful likeness from Alex Ross's art. And the belt itself, I believe this is meant to represent the steering wheel of the classic Batmobile. So another kind of cool inclusion. His backpack, it almost looks like the Rocketeer's backpack. But I also think that's a Batmobile homage, like its engine or something like that. Boy, it does look a lot like the Rocketeer's backpack though. Okay, now let's see if this is as easy as it appears. I think I just snapped these on to those extensions. It creates this hinge. And I'll see if I can do this here in such a way so you can watch that I just... Hear that? Boom. And look at the wingspan on this guy. Wow, that is cool. That is really cool. And in silhouette, this would look like the bat symbol pretty accurately. So now the legs are tough, and I thought so in the comic as well. Like, how does Batman move in this thing? So the legs don't really like come out. Well, they do. So you can get this kind of bent knee. You know, he's flying kind of thing. I like that the hands are fists because he doesn't come with accessories. I mean, maybe a batarang would have been cool, but it's not necessary with a figure at this kind of detail. I mean, he's got a jetpack, he's got this super cool belt buckle, and so on. What I'm saying is I'm glad the hands aren't like this because there's nothing for him to hold. And you see figures sometimes they come with hands like this and they have no accessories. So I like this guy a lot. I'm so glad I found him at retail because I honestly might have forgotten about him otherwise. So yeah, then yeah, you could kind of do this flying thing, or can they close around him too in kind of Batman cape fashion where he stands cloaked? Not quite. I do believe he uses these in the Kingdom Come final battle. You know, he kind of swings these and slices up some of the bad guys, or I think in that case some of his fellow heroes actually. But the final test is the displayability, because as much as I'm approaching these videos from the perspective of a kid opening toys for play, let's be honest, a Kingdom Come Batman is for me, a 40-year-old collector. This story came out in the mid-90s, and I don't know a lot of kids that are going to be into seeking this figure out. It might have some curb appeal, so to speak, on the pegs, some peg appeal, but otherwise, this is a very niche kind of figure. And let's just see how well he stands. Do I need that stand that came in the packaging? And it doesn't look like it. I might take it out of the packaging and just have it handy for the sake of preservation. There may be another figure that could benefit from it, or maybe once I put him on a stand with some other toys and I need to tweak the wings, that might affect his balance or something. But generally, he is a stable and frankly beautiful figure. well sculpted. Paint application is great. I do have an issue with the articulation of these McFarlane Toys, quite honestly. You could hear kind of this kind of roto click in the joints, and there isn't a super fluidity or posability to these figures as much as I'd like. They're very much for the adult collector ultimately, and I'll tell you what, I like this guy. I like him a lot, and like I said, I'm glad I found him. And if you're looking for him in your respective markets, I hope you do too. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I do self-publish a mini comic book series called Amazing Arizona Comics about superheroes in Arizona. You don't have to live in Arizona to enjoy it. It satirizes local news, national news, history and culture with superhero adventure. You can find more information on my Instagram at AmazingAZComics. If you click on the link tree there, you'll find links to my Patreon and Etsy store as well. So I hope you check that out if you enjoy these videos. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in next time when I grab another unopened toy on the pile here in my living room and I say, you know what? Just open it. I'll catch you next time.